Yo, 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 what's good, y'all? It's your boy Tony the Savant back with another one. Uh, Shout out to the BCE, the SCE. My boy Mello, that's the president. Shout out to my boy Jeezy, that's the manager. Shout out to my little cousin Hawk. She been supporting since day one. I love that, and I love you, G. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Uh, Charles Barkley, man, recently made some very crazy comments. Now, this is something I've been telling people, man. When I first got the wind of the news and all that kind of stuff, I told Cash, man, Charles Barkley chose this out a long time ago. You know what I mean? If you still surprised, shocked, outraged, all that stuff, at Charles Barkley's, particular, I don't even know how to preference. You know what I mean? His romantic preferences. If you just now really getting wind of this, man, I'm sorry for you because I recall Charles Barkley on live TV during the All Star Game weekend, Saturday night, I think it was. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much French kissing Dick Bavetta. You know what I mean? An old, decrepit referee, man. You know him and Charles Barkley in the middle of an All Star weekend was pretty much made out. It was just a kiss, but it was wild. It was wild. But outside of that, just Charles Barkley defending that behavior. You know what I mean? Like Cash really forgot that Charles Barkley chose the side a long time ago, man. But anyway, he recently came out, and we all know about the Bud Light drama, man. You know, I don't really get too politically involved. I kind of pay attention when it's time to pay attention, but for the most part, that's not really my lane, you know. But I have been, it's kind of hard to not pay attention to what's been going down with Bud Light and their particular marketing plans and all that kind of stuff. So recently, I don't know. I'm sorry to just kind of give you a little backstory on that stuff, just in case you didn't know. There's a gentleman by the name, I think, Dylan Mulvaney. This guy, he got a endorsement deal from Bud Light during March Madness weekend. And the only reason I even knew anything about this is because it was during March Madness. Just keep it a buck. Um, I was in tune, of course, watching the basketball stuff. But once this news broke out that um, Bud Light was making this move and all that kind of stuff with this gentleman or this person as their endorsement figure, it just kind of like from that moment, it was no longer about March Madness, and then the whole Bud Light situation, just even with the basketball tournaments, it's just kind of like the Bud Light situation over was outshining the basketball. You know what I mean? But anyway, Charles Barkley chimed in on all the hoopla, and he was pretty much just, spitting in the face of people that decided that they didn't want to rock with Bud Light anymore because of this. Me personally, I've never been a beer drinker. You know what I mean? If I do have a beer, I'll drink whatever if somebody hand it to me, but it's usually only one because beer was never my thing or my preference. Drinking, period. But in the same breath, I'm not gonna knock somebody if they don't want to rock with a product because they feel a certain kind of way about it. Me personally, I don't eat McDonald's. You know what I mean? Because I'm more of a health conscious kind of person, I guess you want to say. But I don't eat McDonald's. It's not because of their political reasons. It's for health reasons. And if somebody was to come on onto live TV and be like, "Hey, well, Charles Barkley didn't do this on TV. I don't want to. I'm going to shoot him some bail." He was kind of in I guess, a club or something, and TMZ. Uh, Broke this because they had him on tape, you know what I mean, saying these things. But nonetheless, if somebody was to be like, yo, forget all you people that want to eat healthy, you know what I mean, and if y'all ain't eating McDonald's, you know what I'm saying, F you. Essentially, that's what uh, Charles Barkley said, except, substitute McDonald's with Bud Light. He was pretty much just saying, if you got a problem with Bud Light, F you. And I just feel like, man, that's a horrible stance to take because at the end of the day, people got their reasons for doing everything, man. And I think that athletes and these companies and these movies and entertainment industry, so many of them have just gotten so engulfed in the political stuff that it's forcing us as fans to choose a side. Whether we're politically involved or not. I just feel like it was nasty work. It's disgusting that Charles Barkley even get involved in this situation. It's like you're an athlete. You're a sports commentator. What's going on politically, or what's going on in people's homes and bedrooms, ain't got nothing to do with sports. You know what I mean? I don't know when it all of a sudden got cool to bring this kind of stuff into the sports world, but again, ain't none of this got to do with our particular lane or our industry. And I thought it was just nasty work that Charles Barkley would even say that. You know, what I mean, go in front of people and take that stance when people got their right to uh, spend their money where they want to spend. You know what I mean? Spend it where they want to spend it. And another thing I had to say was that I hate to even confess this because I'm one of those people that still watch the games. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily enjoy all the political messaging and all that kind of stuff. I don't. I try not to pay attention to that kind of stuff for the sake of being a sports journalist. Keep my focus on the stats and the highlights. But it is a problem. I mean, it is a something that needs to be acknowledged that the NBA ratings are in the poo can, in the garbage can, the toilet. They're horrible for this reason. I mean, it kind of recovered with the Golden State winning last year's NBA Finals, and Denver, they did their numbers as far as they was on par with the Steph Curry and Golden State Warriors NBA Finals. But outside of that, man, the regular seasons ratings are poo. You know what I mean? From game one to game 82. Playoffs usually are poo. You know what I mean? Until like the conference finals and the NBA finals. That's when the ratings start to recover again. But it's all because the NBA and uh, its employees have decided they want to be politicians or activists or advocates for certain people and communities, and that's all fine in your private time. You know what I mean? I have no qualms when an athlete want to take up more of an activist role or whatever. They got their things that they want to stand up for, or their people they want to stand up for. I have no problems with that. But I do have a problem when you're castigating people for their beliefs. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I feel like that's a form of bullying, and I've always had a disdain for bullies. You know what I mean? I just don't like that. You know what I mean? You can do what you want to do. You can believe what you want to believe on your side of life. But you know what I'm saying? Don't try to force me to believe or do the things that you like to do on my side of life, because that's where your conflict is going to come from. And I think something that all of these sports leagues have been experiencing. It's just not just been the NBA and their guys. I know recently I was reading some articles about how the NHL is totally doing away with the pride stuff because their fans and their bottom lines, or namely their bottom lines, are being affected, and they just like, hey, all of this pandering has to stop. Once the money's getting fiddled with. But the NHL is doing all of this political and all this activist stuff. They're doing away with it because it's just become too much. And I feel like as a sports fan, like I said, I've only paid attention to it, because they blasted it in a sport. They blasted it in our face so hard. It's kind of like, oh, this is going on. Okay, all right. I wasn't aware of it until now. Another issue, like the dude, the guy, I don't even know the gentleman that went over to start swimming. He became a woman. I forget his name, and now he's swimming. I had no idea that was going on until long after the events, because like, man, when did this start happening? When did we start getting this kind of stuff in the sports world? It's crazy. But Charles Barkley making this stance and pretty much talking down on fans that decided that they didn't want to, drink Bud Light no more because Bud Light was just going too far with the pandering and the propaganda. Hey, man, look, in America, I mean, probably somewhere overseas, it's right to castigate people for their beliefs. Well, over here in America, man, we get along and we coexist because we respect life. We respect another person's decisions, but we also understand that, hey, you can do what you want to do, and everything should be fine as long as you're not bringing harm to anybody else, especially children. and I should be able to do and believe what I want to do as long as I'm not bringing harm or doing it. It's the same parameter. That's just how America has made it. This is what made America. This is what makes America beautiful. And um, I don't know when it got cool to start, talking down on other people for their beliefs. But anyway, that's my particular take on this one. Charles Barkley, bro. Dude was just making out with Dick Bavetta. You guys got to understand, man, these aren't hot takes after so long. You know what I mean? These dudes tell you who they are, and we just got to accept it for what it is. You do got to understand, man. You can make a decision to stop rocking with these guys, whatever the case. But I'm not gonna knock Charles Barkley for what he's saying or for how he feels. I just feel like, to an extent, hopefully this video makes it to him. To an extent, Charles, what I'm saying is, just stay out of it, bro. It's none of your business what goes on in people's homes and how they decide to spend their money. At the end of the day, you're a businessman yourself, and you got to display a product. So, so just make sure you're putting out the best product that you possibly can. But other than that, that's my take on it. Tony the Savant, back with another one. I'm just the guy that like to put in the work. Y'all the bosses. I am not a player. I'm not a coach. I'm just a savant. Y'all be blessed.